Hello everyone, in this video I am going to start Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. In the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the entire process of devotional service was explained by Lord Krishna. Let us begin with the first two shlokas of this chapter. Arjuna uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajñamev cha etadveditumicchami jnanam jneyam cha keshava. Shri Bhagavan uvacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidiyate etadyo vetti tam prahu kshetrajña iti tadvidah. The meaning. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, Prakritim, nature, Purusham, the enjoyer, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Kshetram, the field, Kshetrajñam, the knower of the field, Eva, certainly, Cha, also, Etat, all this, Veditam, to understand, Ichchami, I wish, Jnanam, knowledge, Jneyam, the object of knowledge, Cha, also, Keshava, O Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the personality of Godhead said, Idam, this, Shariram, body, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Kshetram, the field, Iti, thus, Abhidiyate is called, Etat, this, Yaha, one who, Veti, knows, Tam, he, Prahuhu is called, Kshetrajñaha, the knower of the field, Iti, thus, Tadvidaha, by those who know this. The whole meaning is, Arjuna said, O my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, This body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Srila Prabhupada explains these two shlokas. Arjuna was inquisitive about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, Kshetra, the field, Kshetrajña, its knower, and knowledge and the object of knowledge. When he inquired about all these, Krishna said that this body is called the field and that one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. This body is the field of activity for the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul is entrapped in material existence and he attempts to lord it over material nature. And so, according to his capacity to dominate material nature, he gets a field of activity. That field of activity is the body. And what is the body? The body is made of senses. The conditioned soul wants to enjoy sense gratification, and according to his capacity to enjoy sense gratification, he is offered a body or a field of activity. Therefore, the body is called kshetra or the field of activity for the conditioned soul. Now, the person who identifies himself with the body is called kshetrajña, the knower of the field. It is not very difficult to understand the difference between the field and its knower, the body and the knower of the body. Any person can consider that from childhood to old age he undergoes many changes of body yet is still one person remaining. Thus there is a difference between the knower of the field of activities and the actual field of activities. A conditioned soul can thus understand that he is different from the body. It is described in the beginning, Dehinosmin, that the living entity is within the body and that the body is changing from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth and from youth to old age. And the person who owns the body knows that the body is changing. The owner is distinctly Kshetrajña. Sometimes we think, I am happy, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a dog, I am a cat. These are the bodily designations of the knower, but the knower is different from the body. Although we may use many articles, our clothes, etc., we know that we are different from the things used. Similarly, we also understand by a little contemplation that we are different from the body. I or you or anyone else who owns the body is called Kshetrajña, the knower of the field of activities, and the body is called Kshetra, the field of activities itself. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the doer of the body, the living entity, and the position by which he can understand the Supreme Lord are described. In the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the relationship between the individual soul and super soul in regard to devotional service are described. The superior position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the subordinate position of the individual soul are definitely defined in these chapters. The living entities are subordinate under all circumstances, but in their forgetfulness they are suffering. When enlightened by pious activities, they approach the Supreme Lord in different capacities, as the distressed, those in want of money, the inquisitive, and those in search of knowledge. That is all described. That is also described. Now, starting with the 13th chapter, how the living entity comes into contact with material nature and how he is delivered by the Lord through the different methods of fruitive activities, cultivation of knowledge, and the discharge of devotional service are explained. Although the living entity is completely different from the material body, he somehow becomes related. This is also explained. Thank you for watching, and I will tell the next shloka in the next video.